what's up? It's Caitlin and welcome back to my channel. It has been a minute. I know it has been a long time. Now, if you saw my most recent video, it was only a couple minutes long. I told you I was taking a break. Unfortunately, my grandfather passed away and it has hit me hard. It's hit my family really, really hard. I'm still by no means not okay. But today I felt good enough to finally come back into my beauty room and put on some makeup. I haven't worn makeup in over a month. I can't remember the last time I actually wore makeup or enjoyed wearing makeup. And today was the day. Today was the day I finally decided, hey, I'm okay. Let's make a video. Let's sit down and go through these new products because we had a lot of them. It felt really good to put on makeup, and at this time I just want to send a quick thank you. I want to send you all my love for supporting my channel and for so many of my subscribers being there for me at my time of loss. Y'all mean the world to me. My channel means the world to me, and to have so many people telling me I'm so sorry for your loss, I'm praying for you, to receive so many prayers from y'all, it warmed my heart, it touched my soul, and I just love you guys. I appreciate you. With that being said, we are diving into a full face of first impressions today. This video went amazing. There was only, I believe, 2 products that just weren't okay for me. There was a primer that I fell in love with, and I will be doing a follow-up video very, very soon with that. But I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel. And when you subscribe, hit the post notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a brand new video. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so let me just show you all of the new makeup we have to test out right now. It's a lot. It's very overwhelming. Obviously, we aren't going to get to everything today, but I want to try out as many of these products as possible. A lot of them are new. Some of them have been out for a minute. I've just never personally tried them myself. So let's get down to business. For eyeshadow, I only had 2 options. I either had the new Jaclyn Hill palette, which I don't really feel like I should review now because it's been out for so long. It came out while I was taking my break, and I just feel like it would be irrelevant. If you still would like to see my first impressions on that palette, go ahead and comment below and I will do a dedicated video solely to that. So with that being said, we are going to be using this new palette by Profusion. This is the Lovestruck palette, and it is beautiful. This is definitely me in a palette. It has some neutrals, but then it has some pops of pink and purple and blue. Let me take off the plastic overlay. Look at that. It is just gorgeous, and I love these glitters that Profusion has been coming out with. They are so buttery. They don't feel like just glitter pressed into a pan. They definitely feel like they have some kind of just like, I don't know how to explain it, but they are so creamy, so blendable. I love them. So I definitely want to use one of those today. So this is the palette we're going to go ahead and use. What I love about Profusion is on the plastic overlay, they still put the shade names on there. Don't know if you can see that, which I really appreciate. I mean, I do like palettes to put the shade names on the palette themselves, but I do appreciate that Profusion still puts them on the plastic overlay, and they also put them on the back. So that's the palette we're going to be using. And then for eyeshadow primer, I have a new one. So as you know, I used to love the NYX eyeshadow base. I was using that for the longest. Lately, I've been on the Makeup Revolution Cut Crease Canvas Full Coverage eyeshadow base. I love that one now. So we're going to try out this one by e.l.f. This is their Putty Eye Primer. This is in the shade Cream. On the back it says, amp up your eyeshadow looks with this color intensifying eye putty primer that locks in eyeshadow for 12 hours of crease-proof wear. Infused with vegan squalane, don't know what that is, known to moisturize throughout the day. So the only thing that concerns me about this is I do have very hydrated already eyelids. My eyelids are always very hydrated. So I am interested to see if my eyelids actually get greasier throughout the day, causing this not to be crease proof. So we're going to go ahead and take this out. It looks like it's just in a little bitty jar. Yeah, it is in a little bitty jar. It's in this little frosted glass jar. I don't think this is glass. I think it's like hard plastic. When you open it up, okay, so it's not a putty. It's almost like, it's like a cream, which I'm interested to see. I do like cream eyeshadow primers. I mean, like my NYX one. But this definitely feels, kind of feels thick, like a concealer. So I'm interested. I'm very interested. Obviously, I already have my eye tapes on, so I'm just going to go ahead and put on our eyeshadow base using my favorite brush. This is by AOA Studio. It is their high definition brush. This is perfect for me to apply eyeshadow bases with. So I'm just going to swirl my brush in there and see how much I get. I don't want to put too much on here. and I'm just going to apply it the usual way I would on my lid up to my brow bone. So it is a little thicker than I had anticipated. When it said a putty, I kind of expected to be kind of like, not like a liquid, but a little softer. But then again, I mean, I know how their putty primers feel, so I should have expected the same thing just for your eyes. So the eyeshadow base is on. Overall, I think I really like it. It is definitely a really tacky formula, but that, once again, is what I really look for in an eyeshadow primer. Okay, so moving on. I'm going to grab my Morphe M505, which is just a fluffy brush, because we're going to start with our crease shade. Looking at the palette, I think I want to go in with this cool toned pink shade right here. It's kind of like a pinkish going on a purple shade. This is called Festival. Speaking of Festival, their Festival eyeshadow palette is also one of my favorites. It's very colorful, very reminiscent, in my opinion, of kind of like a James Charles vibe or like a Morphe vibe, but much more affordable. So I really like this shade. It's definitely something I haven't used before. Really pretty. So we're going to dip our brush into there. There is minimal fallout, and we are just going to go ahead and apply that into our crease. So one thing I will say about pink eyeshadows, I'm not going to say Profusion eyeshadows because I have experienced this with multiple eyeshadows, is that pink eyeshadows tend to stain. So just to be forewarned of that. But so far, this is a really pretty shade. It is definitely a pink going into a purple tone, and I almost see like almost a blue undertone in it, which is kind of cool as well. Okay, so there's that shade all on. I love this color. I think it is perfect for springtime. Side note, if you can hear my washer, I apologize. My mother decided to start her laundry while I'm filming. So we're just going to work through that. To blend this out, I think I want to mix two colors. I want to mix this first shade, which is called Lilac, which is almost like a gray toned purple to me. And then I want to mix in a little bit of Rain, which is over here, which is like a lighter, well, no, a darker purple. But I want to mix these two together because I feel like this is too gray by itself, but mix just a little bit of this in, I think it will look beautiful. So I'm going to do that. I'm just literally going to tap between the two. And then softly blending out this outer edge. I was watching a video by Nikki Tutorials, which I love her channel. If you haven't seen it, which I'm sure is impossible you haven't, I'll link her channel below because it's amazing. But I saw something where she has really hooded eyelids. So one of the techniques she does now is she kind of swirls her eyeshadow into the front of her eyebrow like this. So I've started doing it, and I just feel like I have fallen in love with it. I don't think I have as hooded eyes as her, but I do have hooded eyes. I have a low crease. So I do like to build my colors up. That's why I bring them up so high. So I really like that she does that. Okay, so let's go ahead and add some depth to our crease. So I want to go in very lightly with this like indigo bluish purple shade down here, which is called Renaissance. I really wanted to use like this hot pink right here, but I want to try something different. So I think this shade will look really cool going underneath these. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to use this Wet n Wild blending brush. This is from the Bretman Rock collection. I've been really loving the brushes from that. So I'm going to dip into here very lightly. Alright, and then very carefully, I'm just going to start adding this at the outer V, kind of like in a swirling motion, and bringing it in towards the middle. I'll be honest with this, I'm not really being precise. I'm kind of just like swirling it in the places I think it should go. I think I need a different brush. I think this is too tightly packed. Let me try this one. This is just another Morphe brush. Let me dip into that. Alright, let's try this. There we go. That's better. All right, there we go. And I feel like this is just adding a little extra depth before we start working on our lid shades. Like I've already mentioned, you don't really need to be precise with this shade. We're just putting this mainly like in our crease as well. But most of this is going to be covered up with our lid shade. We're just adding this to add a little bit of depth above our lid shade. So now we can start moving on to the lid, and I'm super excited for the lid because I think what I want to do is I want to add a metallic first and then top it with a glitter. So I'm stuck between if I want to use this shade as a shimmer or this shade. I feel like this one because it's a little brighter. I don't know, but they're so pretty. Okay, so this first one I'm wanting to use is called Pose. Let's just do a little swatcheroony. I don't really like to do swatches because I don't really feel like they're a good representation against like what could go on your eye, but that would be so pretty. It's like a duochrome pinkish purple, which ties in really well. And then the other one I want to use is called Mega Fine. Let's see. Which is like a purple pink duochrome. Both are super pretty. Ooh, I don't know. I feel like I want to use Pose, which is the lighter one, just because I feel like I'm leaning more towards going in with this shimmer over here, which is like a blush pink shade. I think that would tie in really well. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So let me grab a flat brush. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to go in first with the shade Pose, which is this shimmer right here. I'm going to take this on a flat brush, and I am going to spray my brush as well. All right, we're going to spray, pick it up, and apply it. Ooh, that's pretty. I do feel like this is having a little problem sticking to my brush. I feel like maybe with a finger it works out better. Let's see. No, not really. So I'm just using my brush and I'm just packing that on the lid. Once again, not really being too precise because we are going to be putting a glitter over this, but I do want it on my lid, obviously. Okay, so there's that shade. It is really pretty. Just something to keep in mind, it did take a good dent to get this much payoff on my eyes. So just something to keep in mind. Before going on to the glitter, I'm going to take a little more of Festival, which is our crease shade. And I'm just going to blend this out a little bit. That way it doesn't look too choppy. Now you could totally leave it like this if you want, but I want more. So we're going to go ahead and go in with Wonderland, which is the blush pink glitter in the palette. I'm going to try this with a brush, and if that doesn't work, then I'm going to use my finger. It depends. I mean, you can use either one, but to me it depends on the quality of the glitter, which, like I mentioned earlier, love Profusion glitters. So let me grab a different flat brush. I definitely want a smaller one, so I'm just going to grab my Japanesque 213 brush, which is just a teeny tiny one like that. So I'm going to go ahead and dip my brush into the glitter. And like I said, this glitter is very, very soft, so you don't even have to spray it because it comes off so easily. But I'm going to go ahead and spray it to hopefully avoid some fallout. I'm going to go ahead and take a mirror, and we're going to apply this all over the lid. So let's talk about the reason I put the shimmer before applying this glitter. It was because the glitter is not going to cover the whole eyelid thoroughly unless you like really layered it up, which I'm not going to do that. I'm not into that because that's just going to cause more fallout, and you're going to use a lot of product to achieve that kind of look. So applying a shimmer under here gives you the opportunity to, number one, not use so much product, not waste so much product, avoid fallout, and it also gives the glitter a really cool effect. At this point, I'm not even really spraying my brush anymore. I'm just dipping into the glitter and just packing it on. I'm not really like sliding my brush against my eyelid. I'm just really tapping it into place. All right, we're gonna go ahead and take off our tapes and let's see. Ooh. Okay, we are not going for everyday glam today. So first impression on this palette, I love it. The only kind of con I would say is just keep in mind how many times you have to dip into the shimmer to get payoff. I mean, there is a good dent in it, but for how affordable this palette is, I'm not going to complain. Okay, so for primer spray, so Hard Candy, which is a brand sold at Walmart, totally revamped their brand. They redid all their packaging. So I bought a lot of new stuff and a lot of stuff that they already had, but it was revamped. One being this Sheer Envy Hydrating Primer Mist. This is 12-hour wear with coconut water and electrolytes energized. It is oil-free and silicone-free. Their packaging is definitely much cuter than what it used to be. They still have my Sheer Envy Pore Blur Primer, which is my favorite one. So I'm going to use this on my face. Let's see how the spritzer is. Very nice. And it smells like coconut. Okay. You really can't mess up a primer water. The only thing I would really be a critique on is like the spritzer. If it's just too dense, it's not my cup of tea. While this dries, let's talk about the other primers we have. So the first one being by Wet n Wild. This is their Prime Focus Primer Serum. They came out with this the same time they released their Wet n Wild Dewy Photofocus Foundation, which I have right here. And we'll probably be using that later. So I bought that, and then I have the new e.l.f. Puff Puff Primer. This is with hemp-derived cannabis sativa. It's a nourishing face primer. I saw Juicy Jazz use this on her channel, and she personally wasn't too impressed with it. She said it was basically reminded her of an SPF. I think the only claim on here really is that it's supposed to hydrate your skin. Yeah, a creamy primer that absorbs quickly into the skin to hydrate and condition your skin before makeup application. So I have pretty hydrated skin. I went ahead and got it because it's new. We also have this I Heart Revolution Strawberry Whip Pore Blurring Primer, which is not new. I've just never tried it. I'm really excited though to try this. And then by Hard Candy, this is new. This is their Smoothing Primer Balm. So primer balms have really become a big trend. I know that I think it's Tatcha came out with the first ever one, in my opinion at least. And then e.l.f. has a Perfect Dupe, which is their putty primer. And then they released an Luminous and a matte putty primer. So now Hard Candy is joining the game. So this is a smoothing primer balm. On the back it says, a creamy balm transforms to a smoothing soft touch powder, helps minimize pores and appearance of fine lines, glides easily, helps hydrate skin, create a smooth base to extend makeup wear. So it's supposed to help make your makeup last, hydrate your skin, and help minimize the pores and fine lines. So those are claims that I personally always look for. So with that being said, I think I want to go ahead, I'm gonna go ahead and apply the primer serum, and then I think I'm gonna use the Hard Candy Primer Balm, and then we will save the other ones for either off camera or I will use them on camera. So first we're gonna go in with the Wet n Wild Primer Serum. Now I know Juicy Jazz, when she used this, yes, I'm talking about Juicy Jazz again. I know when she used this, she said, when she used this, she said it did take her a little bit to really like it. She had to use it a couple times. I think it was she liked to press it into her skin and then rub it in. Which on the skin, it actually feels really, really nice. Not too hydrating, which I thought it was literally gonna feel just like water. But this feels really nice. I have glitter all over my face, but that's okay. Okay, so the primer serum feels really, really nice on the skin. I definitely feel like it thickens up as you apply it. I'm not mad at it. So we're gonna go ahead and open up the Hard Candy primer. I'm so excited. Just looking at the packaging, it is just like the e.l.f. one. And then when you open it up, yeah, hold on. So here's the Hard Candy packaging. Here is the e.l.f. packaging. It is the exact same. And then when you open them up, my e.l.f. one is obviously used, but when you open them up, they're the exact same. The Hard Candy one is a little darker, but they are the exact same thing. That is definitely going to need a dupe video. I mean, these are both very affordable, but I'm still gonna do a dupe video on this. So let's go ahead and do the primer balm. So I like to use a good amount. I know that's kind of like not advised, but I feel like using a good amount helps it really work. So I'm gonna put this mainly in my T-zone. There we go. Okay, and then we're gonna rub that in. Wow. Okay, so I'm sure you can't see this on camera, but it is like blurring my skin. Wow, my nose. I may like this better than the e.l.f. one. This primer, I'm definitely gonna have to do a dupe video with the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, but this one, in my opinion, right off the bat, I love it so much better than the e.l.f. one. So let's go ahead and do foundation. For foundation, we technically have 3 options. I'm pretty sure what I'm going to go in with. So the first one is by CoverGirl. This is the Clean Fresh Skin Milk. I've seen a lot of reviews on this and they're just not impressed at all. This is definitely like a your skin but better kind of thing. And my first time back on camera, I don't want your skin but better. I need coverage. So then we have the Milani Screen Queen Natural Finish Foundation. Natural. No, I'm not doing that. So with that being said, we are going to do the Wet n Wild Photofocus Foundation. This is their new Dewy formula. I love their original formula. Now I did toss mine in my last declutter just because it was really old. I try out a lot of foundations, a lot of makeup. This one I've heard is really, really good, and the paint smell is no longer there, which is true. It just smells like foundation. So I got the shade Soft Beige, which may be a little too dark, but with concealer we should be able to work it out. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the little spatula and apply some to my face. Yeah, this is going to be a little too dark. I don't know what possessed me to get the shade beige. I'm not the shade beige in anything. Alright, that should be good. That's probably a little too much. Alright, I'm going to take my Wet n Wild sponge and blend this in. Yeah, it is way too dark. We'll be able to make it work. Okay, so there it is blended on. So to me, this isn't like full coverage, which I don't think this claims to be. So it says hydrates and smooths complexion for a luminous finish, buildable coverage for normal to dry skin. Okay, so it is buildable. I would describe this as like medium buildable coverage. It is really pretty. I'm looking for a little bit more. So I want to see how this is when you build it up. My only like feedback of criticism to this was I wish they would do a pump, just because to me the spatula isn't that sanitary, and then it also is messy application. I mean, that really is like a first world problem, but if I could change anything about this foundation, it would be to add a pump. So this is building up very nicely. Ooh, I like that much better now. Okay, so foundation all on. First impression, I really love the coverage of this once you build it up. I think it is really pretty. I do see the luminosity to it, but it's nothing to where I have to question, am I luminous or am I greasy? So really impressed with that. So for concealer, I have two different options. I have the NYX Born to Glow, which I've seen a lot of mixed reviews on this. And then I have the ColourPop Caitlin back at it with the stuttering. The ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer. So I got the shade 50W Light. I've heard really good things about this, so I'm very excited. So in the NYX concealer, I don't know what shade. Okay, so I got the shade Alabaster, which I actually think is going to be way too light. Let's go ahead and open this up. I think what I want to do is I want to go ahead and put the Born to Glow maybe on my left side and the ColourPop on my right and see how this comes out. But first let me see how light the NYX one is, because if it's too light, I'm not going to use this. Hold on. Ooh. Yeah. Oh, that's way too light. Okay, so you know what? Sorry, NYX, I'm not going to do that. I will get my correct shade. So I'm going to go ahead and use the ColourPop 50W, Light 50W. Let's see how this is. Okay. It's a little yellow. Darn, I thought I had done a good job in the store. I guess not. Let's blend this out, and then I may have to add a little bit of that NYX concealer on top. So first impression on the ColourPop one, it blends out like a dream, like with no effort whatsoever. Ooh. I am concerned with how it's going to look under my eyes once I blend that out. Let me go in and grab my mirror. It also feels very hydrating on the skin. I definitely see what they're talking about. So let's go ahead and blend this out and see what this looks like. I'm definitely gonna have to add some brightness because that's when I blend it out and it looks okay, but I definitely do like some brightness under my under eye. I think when I bought this, I did do swatches of the samples when I bought this, so that's a little embarrassing, but I think I was going more for what my foundation would be, and I didn't think about a concealer. I think I judged this more as a foundation shade. Okay, so yeah, I definitely want to add a little bit of brightness, so I'm going to go ahead and open up that Born to Glow foundation, and I just want to add a little bit because I don't want too much. Yeah, see, if I had done that shade all under my eyes, that would have been a mess. That's better. That adds just that little bit of brightness that I needed. I feel like this is oxidized. I was fixing to talk about my powders, but then I'm looking at myself in my viewfinder, and I don't know if that's the light coming in through the blinds, but I feel like this is oxidized. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. Okay, so for powder, we once again have a lot. So the first one is by L'Oreal. This is the Infallible Loose Setting Powder. I got the shade Translucent. So I don't know the claims on here. It says lightweight and control shine. That's all this says. This is translucent light medium. Then I have this new one by Hard Candy. They came out with a Marilyn Monroe collection. And this is the translucent loose powder with rose hip oil. Now on the back of here it says, this is in Sparkling Strawberry. Put your look on lockdown with this velvety finishing powder that gives a sheer glow to skin. Addictively weightless, our paraben and mineral oil free formula instantly refines texture, blurs imperfections, the result of face ready for any cameo. So that is some strong claims. What concerns me about this, it is a white powder, which usually means flashback. Then we have these two by I Heart Revolution. These aren't new, but they're new to me. I have the coconut baking powder and I have the banana baking powder. Now it has been a minute since I've used banana baking powder. I used to use the Wet n Wild one. They have like this duo that's a banana and a contour shade. I used to use the banana all the time under my eyes, and girl, let me tell you, my under eyes were yellow, like yellow. So I haven't used a banana powder in a long time, but look at this packaging. It is so cute. So when you open it up, you get this really nice powder puff, which is really nice. I'm actually probably going to use that to apply whatever powder I choose. And then it is sealed, so I'm looking where to unseal it. All right, and then I'm just gonna take some out to show you. So it is like a yellow. Oh my God, it smells like banana pudding. Oh, that smells so good. So it is like a yellow powder, which definitely gives me concern. I don't know if I want to put that under my eyes right now. I don't think I'm ready. So let's go ahead and see if the coconut one smells like coconuts. I'm sure it does. Yeah, this packaging is just adorable. So when you open this up, I'm sure, yep, you get another powder puff. Let's go ahead and take the plastic off of this. All right, and this I'm sure is just a white powder. Yep, just a white. And it does smell like coconuts. So the white powder almost like has a cream shade to it. So I'm really interested to see that. I think though I want to go ahead and go in with a Marilyn Monroe one just because all those claims, I mean, it's driving me crazy. I have to see if they work. All right, so I'm gonna go and take some of the Marilyn Monroe powder out. I'm gonna put it in the lid. All right, so we are going to dip our sponge into the Marilyn Monroe powder. And let's see how this goes. It definitely smells like strawberries. I'm not seeing any glitter in it. Let me get my mirror, hold on. Yeah, I'm not seeing any like sparkle or anything in it. So I applied this powder to my under eyes, my nose, my chin, and then like this area of my cheek. Right off the bat, it is a really pretty powder. I don't have any cons about it. My only complaint is I don't think it's like an extraordinary blurring filter effect like it's trying to claim. I don't think it really does any kind of blurring. I just think it sets the makeup really nicely. But like I can still see some of my pores, like nothing different than if I were to use any of my other powders. So that's all I'm saying is I don't think it's like an amazing, extraordinary powder. I think it's a really good powder, but I don't think it really follows any of the claims it tries to back up. So since this isn't like amazing, I'm gonna go ahead and finish setting my face with the Coconut I Heart Revolution powder, just because I'm really curious at how this applies. Where'd my sponge go? Okay, so I dumped some into the lid. So same thing, I'm gonna take my sponge and set our face. Okay, so this powder, really nice. I have no complaints about it. I think it looks really nice on the skin. I'm sorry if the lighting is going in and out. It is going into the afternoon here, so the sun is setting. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to bronzer. For bronzer, I have this new one by Hard Candy. This is the Just Glow Matte Bronzer with Mango Butter, which I've never heard of before. This is in the shade Maui Matte. So on the back it says, soft and luxurious finely milled powder, seamless natural application that provides all over bronzy or subtle contour, effortless buildable coverage, smooth glide formula infused with mango butter. So I've never heard of a product with mango butter, so I don't know if Hard Candy's the first one. I don't know what the benefits what the benefits are of mango butter, but I'm intrigued to find out. So I got this shade, which is a little too dark for me. This is definitely more red toned. I prefer more orange or peachy tones, but we're gonna make it work. Okay, let me find a good brush. Should I just go with my usual brushes? All right, so I'm just gonna take this Kinsey brush and I'm gonna dip into here very carefully. So it is definitely like a subtle color. It's taking a little bit of buildup, which I mean, is the claim on the back. It does say buildable coverage, but this is like buildable. But since I got darker shade, I guess I shouldn't be complaining. Yeah, it is definitely like a red tone bronzer, but we're making it work. All right, really quickly, I'm just gonna take my Flower Beauty brush I use for nose contour. I'm just gonna slide some of this down the sides of my nose. I'm not really precise when it comes to my nose. I just like it to have some sort of shape. We're gonna go back in with that coconut powder and I'm going to use this to cut and bake my cheeks. Okay, I zoomed you in, so we're gonna go ahead and get started on the brows. So for today, we are gonna be using this one by Hard Candy, once again from the Marilyn Monroe collection. This is their Precision Brow Pencil in the shade Light Medium. So on one side you get the spoolie, the other side you get the product. And this is just going to be a very small pointed tip, which I usually don't really like pointed tips. I usually like the tip to be flat. So I'm gonna go and take the lid off of both. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to spoolie my brows. There is so much glitter on my eyes. Okay, so what I think I wanna do is I wanna go ahead and flatten this tip. So I'm just going to do that on the back of my hand. Right off the bat, I will say this isn't like the creamiest formula I've ever felt. It does feel a little rough when I'm trying to flatten it on the back of my hand. Okay, so I flattened it, so it is like a brown shade, which makes me a little nervous. And another thing I already just mentioned is it isn't like a really creamy formula, but we're gonna go ahead and outline my brows. So I usually like to outline with a pencil and fill in with a gel or a pomade. That's what we're gonna be doing. I don't have a new pomade, so I'm just gonna go in my drawer and find one. Okay, so first impression, that's only one brow. I know it looks crazy. First impression, this felt really rough on my hand, but applying it to my eye, it was so easy. It's one of the easiest pencils I've ever worked with, in fact, and it is super creamy actually on my face. So never judge a book by its cover. So I'm gonna go ahead and outline the other eye, and then I'll be filling it with a pomade. I'm gonna go ahead and do that off camera and also apply my lashes. So I have two new lashes I can choose from. Both of these are by Salon Perfect. They are the pre-permed push-up lashes. One is the style, this is the style 671. This is the medium curl natural lift. They are very reminiscent of my usual Salon Perfect 614s, just with a little more volume. Then we have these ones, which are the 672s for a tight curl and a dramatic lift. So I'm not sure which ones I'm gonna use off camera. I kind of feel like the 671s are calling my name. I don't know, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my brows and pop on these lashes, and I will be right back so we can continue. I love these. So I did have to trim them, which I usually don't have to do with my Salon Perfects, but I love these. They were so easy to apply, and they are almost like my 614s, just stacked, like if I were to wear two pairs. I love them. Okay, and then side note, I do really love that eyebrow pencil. So now I'm going to use some eyebrow gel, once again by Hard Candy. A lot of Hard Candy in today's video. This is the Hard Candy Fiber Brow Gel in Volumizing Cellulose. Okay, so this is interesting. So the top is really long, and then the packaging, the actual packaging, starts right here. So opening it up, oh, and then it is a teeny weeny little spoolie, which I usually don't like. Let's see how this is. Okay, right off the bat, I will say I just don't like it. It does add pigment to your brows, which I can appreciate. I feel like it is evening out the color. It is giving them some volume. However, it is not that easy to apply, especially with the thin spoolie. You definitely have to be very careful where you place it. Overall, I think this would be a really amazing product. I just wish the spoolie was a little bit bigger, and there really isn't no reason to have the handle being this big. I guess it's supposed to be maybe for easier application, considering a regular handle is about half the size, but I would just prefer a shorter handle and a larger spoolie. Let's go ahead and do some work on the lower lash line. So I'm first going to line my waterline using the LA Girl Shockwave Neon Lip Liner in the shade Blaze, which is just a pink. And then for the lower lash line, we're going to go back into the Lovestruck palette, and I'm just going to take some of Festival and run that against my lower lash line. And then I'm going to tightline with a little bit of Renaissance. For blush, we're going to be using this one by Hard Candy. This is new. This is their Silk Blush, once again infused with mango butter. On the back, it says soft and luxurious finely milled powder, seamless matte application that provides a pop of color to your cheeks, effortless buildable coverage. Okay, so pretty much the same thing as the bronzer. So I'm just going to apply some of this. Let me pick a brush. This shows up a lot better than the bronzer does. Now for my favorite part, which is always highlighter. You know how throughout this video I've been saying we have a lot of this, we have a lot of that, we have a lot of this. We don't have anything more than highlighter. I have a problem. Okay, so majority of these are not new. A couple of them are, well, really only one of them. The main one being the Wet n Wild Hello Halo Blush Lighter. This is in the shade After Sex Glow. So this is supposed to be like a, I guess, luminous blush and a highlighter. I'm trying to open it. Okay, so that is what it looks like. So I've seen reviews of this already, and overall it is a really pretty formula. So that's what that looks like. We're probably going to be going in with that somewhere. This one I was inspired to get because of Juicy Jazz, my girl. So this is by Essence. This is their Pure Nude Sunlighter. She likes this for a really effortless, natural glow, which with this look, we are anything but natural. But overall, I mean, it's really, really pretty. This may be good for my nose. Then we have this one by Hard Candy. So this isn't new. This is just, you know, revamped packaging. This is their Just Glow Glow Dome. It is their light and bouncy highlighter. This is in the shade, I think this is in the shade Rose Gold. Opening it up, it is beautiful packaging, and it is like a dome shape. I want to say this is kind of like a putty. Yeah, kind of. But I mean, that's really pretty too. And this may actually go better with our eye look. We also have these two by LA Colors. This is their Strobing Illuminating Powder. I have the shade Flashing Pink and the shade Gleaming Goddess. Gleaming Goddess is more like a white shade, and it comes with like a little sponge, which I never use, so we'll throw those away. So that's what that looks like. Using this does look a little powdery. I mean, it's pretty, nothing to be wowed by, honestly. Let's go ahead and open up the Flashing Pink one. And then same thing, it's like a blush pink color. Comes off a little powdery, but this is definitely really, really pink and would tie into our eyes. And then the last one, which is actually the most like physically appealing, is by I Heart Revolution. This is their Shimmering Highlighter in Banana. So this is basically like 3 shades in one. It's like the outer is a pink, the inner is like a light yellow and a dark yellow. We're gonna go ahead and open it up. I want to see if this smells like banana, considering like the banana powder smells like banana. Let's see. No, it doesn't. Okay, so just using my finger, I'm just gonna go all of them. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, so this is really, really pretty. However, I don't think this is what I want to go for today. So we're gonna go ahead and set that to the side. I really wanted to use it, but I just don't think it's gonna go with this look. And then we have this one by Hard Candy from the Marilyn Monroe collab. This is the Luminizing Body Powder. So I'm not gonna use this as a highlighter, but I do wanna open it up and see what it looks like. All right, so we're just gonna pour some into the lid. Ooh, and it is very tan, very, very tan. Let's just see what this looks like if I were to rub it on my hand. It kind of goes to nothing. Okay, so If I put some on my finger, that's what it looks like. But then if I try to rub it somewhere, it kind of just disappears. Okay, so we're not going to use that today. So really, I think the first one I want to go in with is that hard candy highlighter, just because I feel like this really ties into our eyes. I think it'll be a really cool effect. Let me get a highlighter brush. I'm using this one from the Bretman Rock Wet n Wild collection, so I'm just going to swirl in here. All right, and let's see what we get. There's nothing there. Okay, come on. Like when you go like this, it's really, really pretty. Why is it not going to my face? I was so excited. Alright, so this is a dud. Let's go and set that to the side. Let's go in, I guess let's try the Wet n Wild one, and I'm just going to go in with the champagne color, not really the pink. Let's do that. There we go. Oh my god. Look at that. Let's just blend that out a little bit. Oh my god, but do you see that? That is beautiful. Like, I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about this, so I didn't expect it to be this good, but this is good. We're gonna run some. Okay, this highlighter just made my day. I don't have a new lip liner, but I have new lipsticks. So before I do lip liner, let's go ahead and choose which lipstick we're going to be doing. So the first one is by e.l.f. This is the Seriously Satin in the shade Nectar. And I don't think this is going to go with her look today. Let's just see. It comes in like this clear packaging. It'd be kind of pretty. Let's go ahead and do a swatch right here. Maybe. I really love like a really, really nude color. That'd be pretty. But this is okay. It's really pigmented too. It feels really nice on the skin. Then we have these two from the Marilyn Monroe collab with Hard Candy. This one is in the shade Signature Red. This is their lip stains. It says non-sticky cushion packed with payoff infused with rose hip. So let's go ahead and open that. So this is what the packaging looks like. Very, very beautiful. Let's go ahead and open it up and do a swatch. So Signature Red probably is not going to be the shade for us, and I wouldn't even call this a red. This is more like a rosy pink, or like a pink going into red, but this isn't what I would call a red or a signature red at that. This is definitely like in the pink family, but I mean, it's really pretty. It's just not the kind of one we want today. Then we have this one in the shade Rose Kisses. This one actually seems like it might be a good contender. Let's go ahead and do a swatch. Oh, nope, never mind. That is way too pink. I mean, might be. Oh my god, these smell good. Wait. Oh my god. So it smells like strawberries to me. Does this other one does? Oh my god, they smell like strawberries. Okay, love that. But I don't know if this pink's gonna be too pink. I feel like it would. Maybe if I do like a dark lip liner underneath it, would it look okay? Because I mean, the shade's really pretty. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use two different liners. So I'm gonna use both by Wet n Wild. The first one is in the shade Never Petal Down, which is like a mauvey pink. And then the other one is in the shade Plum Together, which is a plum. I'm gonna use a majority of Never Petal Down on my lips with a little bit of plum. And I think that'll give us a little darkness, enough darkness to make this lip stain work. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna first line my lips with Never Petal Down. Okay, and then I'm going to add a little bit of Plum just to give it a little depth. Okay, and I think that gave us enough darkness to go ahead and add this lip stain on top. So let's see. Alright, and the last thing we have to do is set our face, and I don't have any makeup spray, so I'm just going to be using my L'Oreal Paris Infallible Pro Spray and Set Makeup Extender. Alright guys, and that concludes today's full face of first impressions. I really hope you enjoyed it. We are just going to say this right now. I enjoyed every single product that was on my face. The only thing I would say I wasn't too impressed with would have to be this Hard Candy Just Glow Matte Bronzer. I feel like this took a lot of time to really build up. At the end of the day, it did build up to the color I wanted. However, I could use another bronzer in half of the time. So this was the only thing I would say I wasn't too impressed with. No, another thing would have to be, where is it? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Where is it? Aha! The Hard Candy highlighter. This is beautiful when you swatch it. When you put your finger in there, I mean, it's gorgeous, but it did not come off on a brush. And even when I put my finger in there and tried to put it on my skin, there was no payoff there either. So this and that bronzer are the only two things that I would have to pass on. Other than that, I loved everything. I love this Profusion Lovestruck palette. Y'all, go to your nearest Walmart and get you some Profusion palettes. They are amazing. They're so affordable. This was only $10. You cannot beat it. If I had to tell you what my favorite thing was from this video, it would have to be this Hard Candy Smoothing Primer Balm. Once again, go to your nearest Walmart and pick this up. This is amazing. I will be doing a dupe video with the e.l.f. Putty Primer very, very soon. But other than that, that is it for today's video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. I love you, and hopefully I will see you on the next one. Bye, guys.